Come on, bike. Okay, and we're off. So I have just got my endorsement, and this is my very first time starting up the bike to go on a solo run and also as an endorsed rider. Had a couple awesome 2 days doing the Team Oregon class. It was actually a lot of fun. And yeah, it went by really quick. Really enjoyed it. Definitely got more comfortable with the bike I was riding. I feel that translating a bit over to riding the dirt bike, but I just need raw experience on the bike for sure. So here I am. I'm going to stop, and I've got my right foot on the rear brake, and I'm just getting used to finding it. That's how new I am to riding this bike. Like where I place my feet and when I go to find the controls and stuff, it's not second nature yet. And then I was riding with my Tech 7 boots on when I was learning, and now I've just got on like my urban riding shoes from Alpine Star, so being able to feel things with my foot a little easier is a completely different feeling also. You can tell that a lot of times I am riding the bike, especially watching this back, I've got the RPMs way too low, the bike's kind of chugging and sputtering. I need to get used to just riding higher up in the RPMs and that, being normal. Obviously the bike can go, I think, a lot higher in the RPM range than I've ever taken it. And it almost feels like, oh, it should be time to shift, but I don't really think it is. And I've also noticed that when the bike is up higher in the RPM range that the shifts tend to be smoother. Everything just tends to be smoother. So maybe not a lot higher, but at least to some degree higher. So here I am practicing turning around, and didn't look with my head very well that time. I have kind of a bad habit of staring down at the controls on the bike for some reason, I don't know why. But trying to break that habit. The Team Oregon class, they definitely harped on, look where you're going, look where you're going, look where you're going, and after practicing it, I will admit it does work, and I remember I would try to do U-turns in the street here, and I could barely turn the bike around with the whole road half the time. And now I can do it a lot tighter, and that's just from looking over your shoulder, and with a little bit of practice too. So just leaving my little practice road. That's where I learned to use the clutch for the first time. And me and my friend, who's my neighbor, would hop on the bike and just practice in front of the house, but didn't really get out into the neighborhood except for one other time. And so you can tell I'm definitely chugging the bike along here, and I'm just kind of feeling things out, getting used to the bike, because after being on the bike I had at the class for 2 days, getting on the dirt bike felt completely alien. It's like you drive your car and you hop in a rental car. It feels really weird. The brake pedals don't feel right. The acceleration doesn't feel right. Everything's kind of mushy and different. So I'm just kind of reacclimating to the big bike. But I gotta say, it does feel good. Today was like one of the first sunny days, and so it was the first real chance I had to get on the bike and be able to go cruise around without being freezing cold. And you can see that lady's out just kind of in a t-shirt. It's like 60-some degrees here, so solid day. So my plan was to go the back way out of my neighborhood over to the store, and I had to run an errand there to make a copy of a key. It was just like an excuse to leave the house, basically. And I'm trying to work on downshifting for one, but being able to just start the bike and start moving on command. A lot of times I would, have to sit there and slowly let the clutch out, and it'd be a bit of a struggle, and I couldn't always just get moving as quickly as I wanted to, and if there was like a car behind me, that didn't make it any easier. But I'm after the 2 days in the class, I feel more confident that I can get the bike going when I want to. One thing I need to do is practice more clutch work, and especially with being on a hill. So I can't imagine if I was on a really steep hill to the point where putting my feet down would not prevent the bike from rolling back. I'm not totally confident that I would be able to, you know, take my foot off the brake and get moving. So I suppose I think what people do in that situation is perhaps use the rear brake with their foot, and then, you know, kind of let the clutch out, get on the throttle a bit, and then once they feel the clutch start to engage, just letting off the rear brake real quick, and then just being able to push forward. But I'm going to definitely be practicing that. Watching this footage back, I can tell that my shifting, I'm doing things slightly out of order. I will let off the throttle, sometimes not all the way, when I should be, pull the clutch in, and I will shift, and then I will go start to let the clutch out, and then I will roll the throttle on, where I need to be getting on the throttle first and then letting the clutch out. And throughout the day, I start to get a little bit better at it. I notice myself doing it. And there's a few shifts at some point that I'm actually, they felt pretty good. I felt, you know, somewhat proud of. But you can see these ones, especially, they're slow too. Like I'll hold the clutch in and then it kind of goes silent for a second, and that's just me just not being very good at it yet. I mean, there's no real way to put it. I'm also trying to get used to where in the RPM range of my bike is a good place to be sitting in, like what's too high, what's too low. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Again, that'll be something I'm sure that just comes with experience. I think what I probably should do is see how high up in the gear I can get to try to find what the maximum is, and then I'll have a better understanding of, am I at the lower side, am I in the middle, am I anywhere near the top of the gear, which I'm guessing I'm not, but next time I take the bike out, I think I'm going to do that a few times. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Green light. Got it moving pretty quick. I do already feel a lot better on the bike than I did when I remember the first few times I got on. I had never used a clutch. It's a big bike to learn on. You know, I'm 6 feet tall and I can barely get my feet down to the ground. And now the fun part of customizing the bike, changing some things on the bike, adding some new parts, that part I really look forward to. Any hobby I've got, one of my favorite things is, you know, customizing things, decking things out, getting new parts. And the first thing I'm going to do with the bike is do the bracket that holds the turn signals and the brake light and the license plate is this big, hideous looking thing. And I've seen people that have used the tail tidy from Takamoto. I think that looks really clean. So I'm going to try to be ordering one of those pretty soon. And then as far as other upgrades, I want to get a new, more comfortable seat, or at least a seat cover. And then I want to get one of those straps that goes over the back of the seat that you can use to pick up the back of the bike easier, to swing it around when you need to. I think I might have... Oh, I got my signal, my turn signal on there, and actually shut it off there. Not doing that every time, but I'm getting a lot better at it, that's for sure. Wasn't sure if they were going to walk across. I was kind of thinking they would. Managed to get the right turn signal on. Watching it back, still on. Not good, still on. See if at some point I realize this. Yep, still on. I wasn't sure if that was a great move right there, continuing to go around that car. I mean, I saw them stop when I came around the corner there, so I just kept going. I'm sure I could have just got on the brakes and stopped in time if I needed to. And I don't think I ever got my turn signal off. I posted about this on a Facebook group about how I was struggling with it, and people said, well, you know what I do? I just constantly am hitting that button in just to make sure I'm clearing it. And that's not a bad idea, you know, just getting in the habit of,
Okay.
just clearing it.
This is my first ride on the Husqvarna after getting my endorsement. First time being out by myself too. Let's see here. I can get this baby turned around. After being on the little bike that I used for the class, at 30, it was like a 30-inch bike. It was a KTM Duke 200, and it was just so easy just to have your feet on the ground and sit there and complete and smooth, quiet, completely different experience on the bike. And I gotta say, I think I kind of liked it. All right, let's see. Key on. All right. The one thing I gotta remember to do is to look at this indicator for when my blinker's on, because I guarantee that I rode half the way here with that on, but that's okay. I'll get used to remembering. Let her warm up a bit. Okay, so we're gonna get this baby home. We're gonna go the long way. Go for a little bit of a tour, and probably go home and hop on the treadmill.
I didn't get this bike to focus on riding on the road, but I do like the fact that I could potentially, you know, drive somewhere to link up trails or whatever. If I need to, I have the option. But one of the first things I'm going to do after I get some more riding experience is definitely get the tires swapped over to a more off-road tire, and then I need to get a truck, at least a truck, maybe a trailer, some kind of a setup, some way to move the bikes around.
So like I said, we're gonna go the back way.
Plan on getting a street bike to do any, you know, driving around town type riding. Not entirely, but I think that's the game plan at this point, because being on that little KTM really kind of opened my eyes to how fun having a smaller street style bike would be for the road. Oh, managed to turn off my turn signal there. I think I got about 2/3 of them, 3/4 of them. Alright, not bad, not bad.
Alright, looks like the coast is clear.
I'm going to try to stick to riding during the hours where there's not a lot of cars out on the road and I've got a lot of room, and I'm going to try to, you know, pick roads that are a little more chill, you know, stick to the neighborhoods for a while. I'm not even sure how well this bike would do on the freeway or what the top speed is.
Oh, I did it. I just left my blinker on leaving that turn, but I'm glad I caught it.
Probably not the most comfortable bike in the world to be riding on the freeway. Don't plan on doing a lot of that, but I would like to find out what it can do.
It does remind me a lot of the Suron, just a lot more noise, a lot more vibration. I'm trying to get used to having the RPMs up a little bit. Also trying to get used to just relaxing a little bit and kind of enjoying what I'm doing. But I think now that I've gotten the shifting part a little bit better down, obviously I got a lot of fucking practice to do. See if we can hit this downshift here. Ooh, not bad. Wasn't jerky. Did a little bit of throttle. I'm gonna cut through this neighborhood here. Blinker off, let's go. I don't know what the fuck I just did there. Whoops. So I get her back down to second. Third. I gotta get better with my foot reaching and touching it, because sometimes I feel like I don't even make contact with the shifter and it kind of fucks me up. Alright. Right blinker. Also got to remember to roll on the throttle a little bit more. Alright, blinker off. I got to get on the throttle before I let the clutch out. I think I'm kind of doing it in the wrong order a little bit there. If you let it out slow enough, I mean, it still works, but it's just not, it could be better. When I hit a good shift, you can kind of just tell. I also got to remember to keep my speed up and remember what the speed of the road is. Alright, right blinker, downshift, downshift. Oh, it's probably a little early, that's okay. Clutch in, rear brake, front brake, first gear. Leave the old turn signal on. Alright, should be good to go after this FedEx truck here. Blinker off. I really got to talk myself through that so I remember to do it. Remember to use my mirrors a little bit too. Alright, right blinker, slowing down, third gear, second gear. You gotta remember to counter shift next time, or counter steer next time. Blinker off. Alright, I think I'm gonna go take a lap into the old take a lap into the college real quick. Actually, you know what? That sounds dumb. I'm gonna get over. Nothing but a busy parking lot in there. Don't need to be fucking with that. To kind of hit a few bumps on this baby and see what it feels like to have the suspension be able to eat it up. need to remember to lean forward and grip with my legs, not be on the back of the bike. And just enjoy what I'm doing. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a fucking cool ass thing to do. Not so goddamn stressful. Although I'm sure the stressful part goes away and it starts to become a lot more fun pretty quick. There we go. Now we're moving. Up in gear. Oh, I ain't stopping. I ain't stopping for you. Alright. Gonna bang it right here next to my buddy's apartment, or condo. I wonder if he's out here with his dog at all. Put off my blinker on. Oh, I must have been, oh, I was up a higher gear than I thought I was. I thought I was in second there, and I was actually still in third. So coming down the road, I must have been in fifth, and I thought I was in fourth. That's another thing, is keeping your gear selection, just kind of remembering what gear you're actually in. Look where you're going. Look where you're going. Keep your head turned. Maybe I'll ride up this alleyway and then do a little quick U-turn.
So I got a friend that lives in these condos right here, and I thought, I wonder if I just like buzzed the back of his house, if he'd hear the bike and like stick his head out the window and I could like wave at him, but
turn around.
He never showed up.
Oh, it's weird to turn my bike that sharp. Need to practice that for sure, compared to the little one. Alright, left turn blinker. Alright, we're gonna go right.
And I'm pretty close to home. I think this is where I just did one like final lap through the neighborhood, just to kind of extend the ride a little bit.
Good to go. Still got the right turn blinker on. I'm gonna leave it there. A little double check. Should be in first. This is the first time I'm riding my bike without my big padded base layer in my legs, and I don't think I'm doing that again. This seat is a rock fucking hard. Not as comfy as my nice Huron seat, that's for damn sure. Oh, I just down or upshifted. I gotta pay attention. No narrating. I just downshifted to first and I meant to upshift to third. That would have been dumb. The other thing is I gotta remember not to put my legs out early for no reason, and I keep doing that a lot too, I notice. Probably the kind of hill that I should eventually come and stop on and see if I can get started. Just to make sure I could get going if I needed to. I guess you can just use right brake and then when you get going a little bit, take it off. But I definitely gotta practice that a bit. All right. Road is clear.
I think another thing I need to do is I'm going to leave my controls in like their default positions, and I'm trying to start developing a feel for what I like as far as control position. Do I want them further out, further in? Are they at the right angle? I watched a few videos on this.
I don't know if I want to go in quite yet, or if I want to.
And I'm going to give us a little more time, and then I'm going to start, tweaking them to see if I can develop a preference. It just takes a little bit of time, At first you don't quite know what you like or you don't like.
I'm practice doing these little sharp.
Yeah, see, when I first got on the bike,
sharp turns here.
Doing a turn like this was nearly impossible for me. And now it's really not the smallest turns in the world, but they're, I'd say acceptable. Step in the right direction.
One thing I noticed is I don't feel as good turning right as I do left sharply, which I never could quite figure out because it shouldn't be any different. I don't know, maybe it has to do with the throttle hand and having to reach for the clutch. I don't know. Make sure I'm good behind me. I can definitely do it more going to the right. What's up, dude? Gotta practice that a little bit more for sure. Keeping the clutch a little feathered like that. Good practice. Probably should keep the RPMs up a little bit higher and learn how to just pull on the clutch a little bit more. It definitely is useful. I remember during our class we had to stop and then practice starting from like this, just to learn how to turn around like as tight as the radius of the bike and do it. And I was definitely always better doing it to the left for some reason. I remember to look too.
Yeah, I really have a harder time turning sharply to the right, and I think it's just because my clutch hand is more extended and it makes the controls feel a little bit weird, and then the throttle hand's closer. For some reason, doing it the other way just seems easier to me, but I'm forcing myself to practice it because I don't want that to be like some bad habit that develops.
Alright, gotta remember to look where I'm going. Probably could have got that. Need to learn how to trust my bike a little bit more. Those tight little turns. That'll be something we can practice as we're going. But it'll make you feel a lot more confident on the bike, knowing you can do little stuff like that. We got a lot of slow, turny kind of stuff in the class. That's for sure. I bet after 6 months, a year of doing this, you really kind of feel out the bike and understand kind of where you need to be. I'll try to focus on right-hand U-turns here. Almost easier to do with more speed. The dirt bikes are definitely a lot more jerky than like a little street bike, you know? Like KTM Duke 200 I was on, I mean, that thing was so easy just to lean into, and it felt, the throttle was very soft and smooth, you know, it's totally different than what this feels like. That's for sure. But this baby can go off-road, so still gonna fucking figure it out. Booty rocking everywhere. Sometimes I think people look at me at this bike and they think like, could he be on that? And then they see the plate and you're like, oh shit. Not really much I can say.
Thinking back, it didn't seem like I was on the bike for 45 minutes, but I guess I was.
Alright, clutch is in, right foot braking. Alright, first gear, turn signal to the right.
Oh, that's right, because I came back and looped up to this part of the neighborhood and then looped around again. Okay, now I remember. That sounded like a little bit better of an upshift. Still left the dumb blinker on. I can still see it going. I think here I was just practicing upshifting and downshifting back and forth.
Definitely too low in the gear. That's okay. Trying to practice shifting a little faster. A little faster, a little smoother.
Blinker's still on. It does feel awesome just to carve and just go back and forth.
Left my blinker on the whole time. Son of a bitch. Alright, let's see if we can stop here. Come on, baby. Hopefully I didn't have my left turn blinker on. That was not my smoothest start right there. The pressure's on, it fucks me up. But no way to figure it out except by doing it, right? Everybody remembers when you started something brand new and you sucked at it. I certainly do. I told myself I could roll through that stop sign and keep it in gear and have an easier time of things, and I said, no, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna see if I can get in gear on that hill. And it didn't go amazing, but we made it happen. Imagine what it's like to jump one of these things, dude. My God. Or just to be ripping off road. Gotta be pretty cool. Alright, second. Clutch in, come to a stop. Down to first gear. Little rear brake. Coast is clear.
Next thing I'm going to look into is getting one of those airbag vests. I feel like as far as safety goes, they are just miles above anything else. I feel like if you're riding a lot.
I definitely got to get on the throttle.
I don't know why you wouldn't have one.
Beforehand. Before I let the clutch out. It makes it so much smoother. Third gear.
Those are decent little downshifts. Called smooth. I actually managed to flip the throttle a little bit. I'm trying to get better at that.
Watch out for Mr. Mailman here. I'm starting to understand how and why you really got to be paying attention to who's around you, you know? All right. Still got my blinker on. Am I nothing first? If I can start in second.
I think this is probably the third time during this ride that I somehow managed to lose track of what gear I was in.
Sometimes I notice when you shift still, you gotta kind of, you know, move the bike around a bit to help the gears kind of fall into place. What's up, guys? Definitely feel it chugging a lot more, but hey, we managed to get started in second. All right. My friend Rich said he basically doesn't even fucking use first gear, which, you know, it is a pretty short gear on these bikes. That's for damn sure. Gas out. A little too fast, maybe. I don't know. Not enough throttle. Clutch in. Peg down. A little blip. I guess that didn't really count as yeah, I gotta remember to look with my head. That definitely helps. Definitely helps. I'm winning! Oh, you're winning! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! How is he doing it? How is he doing it? How is he doing it? Oh, he won! He won! My God, what is your secret? I need to be a little more ballsy with really turning the bars there. See if I can get a tighter turn radius going.
I think one of these days I'll try to go find a big open empty parking lot and just practice doing those real tight small turns and really get the feel for what the bike can do. Try to do them at a higher speed and see if I can lean into it a little bit more.
Oh wow, that was like my smoothest shift ever. Holy shit. I actually held my foot up against the shifter, and then the moment I pulled the clutch in, it just slipped right into place. Wow, that was wild. I definitely feel like I'm just manhandling the shifter. Hello. Oh, that was a good shift right there. That was a good shift right there. All right, I think I'm done. Whoop. All right, and that was my first ever First ever solo ride as a licensed... Oh shit. That was a beautiful way to end that. Thinking I'm in neutral and I'm not. First ever motorcycle ride as an endorsed driver all by myself. Hell yeah.